All right, what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be pruning our blueberry bushes. Right here, I'm gonna give you an example of what our early bloomers are, our mid bloomers are, and our late bloomers. Right here, we have a Hello Darling, and as you can see already, she is already blooming. Now the Hello Darling goes with the Sweetheart, which is up here, but then you come over here to our Pink Lemonade, our second bloomer, and the Pink Lemonade, you can see, has no blooms on it, but it has the flower buds all over it, and you can see in desperate need of pruning. So we come here, and this is the match to the Pink Lemonade, and this is the Bless Your Heart. It has no open blooms, but buds everywhere. Look at the buds on these things. It's gonna be where your berries are. And the reason why you wanna prune this time of the year, because you get to see everything that's on your bush. And we'll come up here to the Sweetheart. And this is the one that gave us the 12 pounds of blueberries last year. And you can see where she's starting to flower, but she still has buds. This is my second bloomer. So as you can see right here on our Hello Darling, which is our first bloomer of the year, and this is our early bloomer, she was in full bloom when we had those 20-degree nights. And that's where those blossoms start to get their damage at. So I'm not expecting a full harvest out of this bush, but just look at all the buds and flowers all over this thing. It is super loaded, but she is in desperate need of a pruning. The things we're gonna need going into our pruning, we have some snips, we have our bypass pruners, and we have our bypass loppers. The loppers are gonna be the ones that we're gonna use most of, and then we'll go back with our bypass pruners. Out of all of our bushes, we want no more than 6 to 12 canes. So we're gonna take you down here and we're just gonna show you what we're gonna be working with today. And just letting you know right off the rip, down here at the bottom, you have your crown, and then you have your cane, and then you have your branches, and on the end of your branches, you're gonna have your shoots. And then on the end of your shoots, you're gonna have your vegetative buds, as well as your flower buds. So that's pretty much what we're gonna be looking at. You see all of this stuff down here on the inside? These are weaker canes, they gotta come out. So we're gonna take all of this out. You see your green vegetative buds coming in? Starting to pop green. This is my first time noticing that. So we have some green coming in on here. But we're gonna start, first thing we're gonna do is, always you wanna wipe off your snips. Wipe those off because you don't wanna be transferring any bacteria from one plant to the next, even some branches. So I have a tendency of going back and forth between there. So you see all of this dead stuff down here? That's from the winter, and where the winter basically froze those, that's a freeze burn. All of this has to come out. You see all of this down here? That has to come out. You want the inside of this open, and you can do this with relatively small cuts. This one branch right here, we can take out of the middle, and that'll pretty much clean us up. So we'll have like an upside down umbrella shape. And then you see how these two here are scrubbing? We're gonna wanna move one of those. This one has a little more vegetative branch on it, but this is actually new growth here. But she's going in the wrong direction. You see, she's going towards the inside of the plant. So we wanna get that out of there. So we're gonna start first with removing this one, and you're gonna see just how much this opens up. We can remove this one branch and it's gonna open up a whole lot down in there. Now this bush is 3 years old, going into its 4th season, so it is time for a real pruning. Your first year, you really don't want to prune. Your second year, you can just do some maintenance. The 3rd year is when you really want to get into your pruning. So I'm gonna follow this all the way down. And this is how you make your cuts as simple as possible, because most of the time, it's only gonna take 1 or 2 major cuts. You see that same branch? We're gonna follow it all the way down, and that same branch is going here. Now look at what's attached to that. All of this wheat growth that we're gonna take out anyway. Simply by removing this down at the bottom, and you want this as close to this other cane as possible. That's gonna clear up almost all of that inside. So we're gonna get our big bypass loppers to take that out. And once again, we're gonna wipe off our loppers. And you want bypass loppers when you're doing this, because if you do the regular loppers on this, it's going to put too much pressure on that branch and you're not going to get a clean cut. Try to get as much up in there as I can, and then we're just going to snip it. Now watch how much this opens up by pulling this one branch out. You see that? One branch. But look at all the berries you're losing. But that's okay, because what we want to do is thin this out a little bit, and what we don't want is overcrop. Once you're doing this, all these berries here, now it's going to be able to push that energy up to these other berries. That opened up that entire middle. So we don't really have to do any more major cuts on this. Now what we're looking for are this type stuff. You see how these branches are crossing? So now I have to make a hard choice. Do I want to keep this one? Because this is a new branch. You see the color in it, that red. Your new branches are going to have like a red or a green to it. Every year that you leave these on without pruning, that's going to get thinner and thinner. You see how they're scrubbing right now? But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to take this off halfway. I'm going to go right here. Take it off halfway. That's a lot of berries, folks. I just want you to see just how much we're giving away. Look at all those berries on there that we get now. Those are blueberries that we're taking out. But it's a must that we do that. Again, we've only did 2 cuts. Look how open that center is with those 2 cuts. Now everything from this point on out, we're just going to be doing our small snips. And these are stainless steel bypass pruners. And now what we're doing here is we're going to get rid of some of this weak wood. See all of this stuff here that came off of that big piece that we cut off? Look at all those berries we're getting rid of. But that's part of the maintenance of the tree, because not only do you want to prune for aesthetics, you see how this is crossing right here? That's going to be scratching on this. And that's how you open this bush up and make it susceptible to infections, and we don't want that. So we're going to go down here and we're going to take this whole branch out right here, including all this stuff at the bottom. See that? Look at all the berries we're getting rid of. But look at how clean this is already. We've only done 3 cuts, 2 major cuts, and now everything else is going to be just removing some of these little twiggies. So we're going to take that off. We're going to take that off. All this stuff crossing up, we got to get rid of some of this. So we're going to start off here. Take that out. Still got a little more in there crossing up. All these little twigs, and get all those off. And take this out too. And like I said, it hurts. It definitely hurts when you start taking all of this good growth off of there. But at the end of the day, this is the best thing for the plant. And I kind of let this get out of control this way because I wanted to show you guys just what it takes to prune these bushes. And the hardest part is giving up that fruit. So this branch I'm really happy with. This one we can leave alone, and then we'll move over. Because when we get rid of all these little weak twiggies, that's going to push that energy towards the more healthy branches. Okay. Get rid of all this stuff on the inside here. All these little twigs, they have to come out. Get rid of this one too. And then we'll move over here to this one. Again, we're looking for anything that's crossing up. See, we have the scraping right there. Get rid of that. You see how that's crossing, coming up here. Even though that's new growth, we got to get rid of that. Take that out. All this stuff down here in the center, we're gonna get rid of all of this. All of this right here, that's gotta come out. As a matter of fact, we can hit this right here with the big loppers. I might be able to get it with these. Yep. Now watch how that clears out. Look how clear that is now. So we're just gonna come down here as close to the cane as we can. Watch how that clears out. You see how that whole area clears out? Take out this one. It's across. This one here is gonna come out, but I think we're gonna take this entire branch right here off. So we'll go over here, pull that out. This is always the hardest part of doing the pruning. And you look at how thick this bush was in the beginning, and we just took out quite a bit. I'm not even gonna tell you a lie, that hurts. You want 6 to 12 canes coming off this plant. 6 to 12 canes. And already we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're already within our range. So we're good in terms of the canes that we have on here. Now let's see what we've gotten rid of here. This bush is 3 years old going into its 4th year. So I haven't done a major prune on it until now. That's what we just cut out. That is a lot of berries. Look at the bush itself. You see how open that is now? She's gonna be able to get lots of sunlight in there. The shoots, very healthy buds on there. You can see your leaf buds coming out. Not gonna have any overcropping, but we're gonna get a pretty decent harvest out of this bush. And this again is the Hello Darling. After we stepped back, gave it a whole look and seeing what we started and what we ended up with, and I wanna thank your neighbors for hanging out with me. Keep growing out the box.